I'm with Dan Cox, Executive Director of the Fayette County Cultural Trust. We are in the Connellsville Canteen. Longtime Fayette County residents may know this property as the site of the former Burns Drug Store in Connellsville, but the canteen has been in operation here since May. Is that correct, Dan?
It's May of this year, yes. We opened in May 10th.
And can you give me a little background about the history? I understand that the canteen, sort of the idea originated in part because there was a looking for a new location for a train display. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, this idea became relevant when Tuffy Schallenberger approached us. He was going to move the train display from Nemacolin and Woodlands to Connellsville. So we had this property available, and it's unique because we wanted to tie in the train display, which was the same era as the Connellsville Canteen ladies who served the troops during the war that came through Connellsville.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that train display, sort of its history and what all that it showcases?
Harry Clark built the train display. He just lived right outside of Connellsville on 711. It took him about 30 years to build, and everything that is displayed here is scratch built. The trees were all made of dried hydrangea leaves. The barks of the trees were dipped in crayons to get the different colors. All the buildings, he would go out to each building that's on the display and take pictures, and he was an architect, so he came back and actually made all the buildings HO scale to fit the railroad display.
Wow, and I know how intricate all those many pieces to the railroad is. What was the process like as far as relocating that?
Actually, it was all boxed up when it was in Connellsville, all boxed up as a house and loaded to a truck and then shipped to Nemacolin Woodlands. When they got the casino license, we moved it back to Connellsville, and it was done the same way. It was boxed up as a house, and they came and they actually built the walls to this building and lowered the train display in the exact spot it's in, and then built the roof over it.
Well, as you'll see in some of the footage that we've captured, this place is full of great artifacts from years gone by. Can you tell us a little bit about the concept of the canteen and how that's evidenced in all of our different artifacts?
Well, we like the building when you walk in, it's like it has a 40s feel, and the canteen is full of history about Fayette County residents, what they did during World War II. We have bronze stars, purple hearts on the wall. We have people that died in combat. We like to keep their stories alive. And we also do shows here. We do our artist incubator shows. We do dinner theaters and things like that. So.
I know there's some postcards on the wall. Can you tell me a little bit more about those?
Yes, and we have some actual postcards that were sent to the canteen ladies who served the troops coming through Connellsville, thanking them for their service also, and helping them on their journey towards Europe or wherever they were going.
You can even see an authentic telephone booth from that era, as well as a uniform. You can pick that up and really feel how heavy that wool uniform actually is. We also, behind us, Dan, have an awesome display, and this is, my understanding, a 3-month show, and then it'll be replaced by another different display. But can you tell us, there's an original an Olympic torch from the very first Olympic relay, and what else do we have here?
Yes, in keeping with our museum theme, we decided to do shows, to change our shows out every 3 months. Our first show starts December 22nd and runs through November 22nd to January 22nd. And it features Johnny Woodruff, who is a native of Connellsville. He was a gold medal winner in the 1936 Olympics in the 800-meter run. And we have all kinds of museum quality actual memorabilia from that time frame. Johnny went over on the SS Manhattan luxury liner to Europe from the United States. We actually have dishes that were used in the first class passenger section of the ship, and we also have menus and show tickets that were on the ship at the time. The Hindenburg actually has 2 ties to Connellsville. One tie, it was flown over the Olympic Stadium during 1936, so Johnny would have seen that. And also another tie is when the Hindenburg exploded in 1938, another Connellsville native, Herb Morrison, was there to report that historic event. He was born in Connellsville.
That was the famous radio line, "Oh, the Humanity."
Correct. He's the one that coined that phrase, "Oh, the Humanity."
Now you have also another show planned after this show is over, and that one will focus on.
It's going to focus on World War II propaganda. We have flyers that were dropped over Europe by different countries, telling people they must surrender, and all kinds of other neat historic memorabilia we'll put on display for the next 3 months after this show is done.
In addition to war history, there is an entire wall in the other room devoted to one of Connellsville's favorite sons, Mr. Trombone, Harold Betters. Can you tell me a little bit more about the process behind putting that together? And I understand Mr. Betters was actually here for a dinner.
Correct. We actually, since we opened, we've had a lot of outside visitors to the area, so we decided to do a wall dedicated to Harold Betters, since he was a big trombone player during the 50s and 60s. So we like to tell the story about the county and also Connellsville, and promote the people that are still here, especially the ones that are alive. So we decided to dedicate that wall to him. We have one of his trombones and all kinds of record albums that he had put out over lots of years. And we also have a lot of photographs that he brought in to display as well.
You were telling me a little earlier about some of what these artifacts mean to people, and some of the things that we see here on the walls have been things that people have brought to you. What would you suggest if someone has some items that they may want to share?
We like sharing, especially items during World War II. They don't have to be the original photograph. We can get a copy made, black and white photo, and we'd like to tell the story of what happened during the time frame of when these veterans are going off to war. These stories do need to be kept alive, because by the year 2020, we're going to be losing probably a majority of the veterans that served during World War II.
We have some items for sale here. I know there's some copies of the Connellsville Crossroads magazine, which is a production of the Fayette County Cultural Trust, as well as some books. Can you tell us more about the products or items available for sale here?
We do have the Crossroads magazine. Also, we have books on World War II. We have magnets. We have all kinds of other. We have railroad hats, railroad whistles for kids, and all kinds of other stuff. And when we're open every day, Tuesday through Saturday. We do serve coffee. We have packaged foods that we serve, and we also have sodas and orange juice and things like that.
One of the other neat things is this place is home to some great art. Dan, there's a piece that you actually created. Can you tell us more about your glasswork?
We'd also like to promote the businesses that are in Connellsville, and I had made a stained glass window of a train. When you come in the front entrance, the window will be right in front of you, and the other side of the window is actually in our stage area. And that's also, the glass used was also produced in Connellsville by Yakagani Glass.
And directly outside this building, you can see some murals that were done by our friend Cherie Cockrell, who's familiar to many of our Fayette TV viewers.
Yeah, Cherie's been one of our biggest fans. She's been painting these murals starting in 2010, and every year she completes another one, and she's now doing the Carnegie Library is the last mural that she's going to be doing for us on the wall. And we're thankful to have her in Connellsville, because she's doing lots of other murals as well.
And any upcoming dinner shows that you want to promote, Dan? I know you have the Artist Incubator. Any rotating shows that'll be coming up soon?
We have Miss Marketel. She's going to be doing our New Year's show on the 31st from 6 to 9. It's $35. And after that, we have a Valentine's Day show coming up also. More details on that's going to be following. And if anybody out there knows of any performers, musicians, comedians, let us know, because we can also feature them in the canteen as well.
Wonderful. Do you want to remind our viewers one more time about the regular operating hours here?
We are open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 2. And for special occasions, we also rent out the canteen. We can be open on Sundays if we get a lot of requests.
Great. Well, thank you, Dan, for your time. This is Dan Cox. He's the Executive Director of the Fayette County Cultural Trust, and we're here at the Connellsville Canteen right on Crawford Avenue in Connellsville. It's the site of the former Burns Drug Store of many years ago.